All right, everybody may have a seat. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today and being friends and family here. I see a sea of faces that are salt of the earth, and that feels good to see so many people here to celebrate Jen's life. I'd like to thank Wheeler Mortuary for putting this together and being such a professional and empathetic and caring um, business that can handle this for the family, for Kyle and Jakey and Lexi. My name's Jedediah. I've been asked to conduct the proceedings today for the funeral. And just to give you the program, we're going to be enjoying a musical number by Brendan Haywood, Danny's brother. He's going to be singing "You Are My Sunshine." Followed by that, we'll have prayers from Jen's father, Steve Coombs, and we'll enjoy a life sketch from her mother, Elizabeth Coombs, the grandmother. After that, we'll have addresses and short messages focusing on Jen's life sketch. Kyle will start that for us, and then we'll have an open mic for anybody that would like to come up and give their condolences, memories, stories, anything that can be passed on in today's celebration for Jen. And then the closing prayer will be done by myself, and then we will get ready to move to the graveside. All right, so if we could have Brendan come up, if Brendan's ready.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head down and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we humbly bow our heads in gratitude, humility, and appreciation for Jennifer Coombs Davidson. Jennifer came to us with a humble, peaceful, respectful personality. We are very grateful for her. Jennifer was always interested in learning, getting more wisdom to be able to be of service to those around her. We are very grateful and happy that we got to be a part of Jennifer's life, that we could be the recipients of her service and her abilities and her wisdom. At this time, we would ask that the windows of heaven might be opened, that the love and support that we need to deal with the death and the loss of this young lady, that we might be able to understand that this is not the end for Jennifer. We will see Jennifer again. These blessings we ask for in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
So for those that know Jen, we know that she was one of those that wore her heart on her sleeve, and she put everybody first, a lot of times more than herself. And that's one of the things that I wanted to focus on in some of my words on her behalf today, because she was like a second mom to my kids. We moved in next door to Jen in 2009. I had moved my daughters up from St. George, Utah, and I was raised out in Payson in the hayfields of Genola, and I was like, my kids are going to have animals and pets instead of living in a housing tract in St. George, and they're going to know how to deal with pets dying and having all the hardships of farm life. And when we moved next door to the Davidsons, I was so grateful because their kids were the same age as my kids, and uh, um, Kevin and Jen made sure that their kids were growing up 80s style, which is what I wanted, running down the street on four-wheelers and causing havoc and pulling each other in the snow. And luckily we had Jen. If anyone had a broken bone or a dislocated collarbone, she could fix it right there on the spot. The thing that I love about sitting down with Kyle and asking him how we wanted this to be presented today is that he wanted to make sure that all of you knew this was a celebration of Jen and a celebration of her life. And that's perfect for us. We're a little rowdy in our family, and so we like to remember the good times and the things that families are important. And for Jen, um, you know, the the thing about you moms and you sisters and you grandmas and your aunts is that you naturally take the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you have a lot of stress that's not even yours to bear. And I remember learning. I taught family classes for years and years in my other jobs. I remember learning that the worst thing that you could do to a mom is to make her feel unloved and unappreciated. And so naturally, to flip that, the best thing that you could do for a mom is to feel her loved and appreciated. And so not only are we going to do that for Jen today, but I want you to make sure that you're doing it for each and one of you that's sitting to your left and to your right, and to remember those things that matter most with family. And the other side of this too is to remember that um, our loved ones are never really that far away from us. Um, the most important thing is when you look into somebody's eyes, you look into the windows of their soul. And as we look at one another, we see gray beards and wrinkles in the eyes and all the different features that we have with one another. But when you interact with another human being, you're having a soul to soul interaction. And Jen's here with us today. I want to point out also that when we speak people's names, I believe that they are present and hear us from the other side. We have a little bit of a culture in our family that when a family member moves on, they don't talk about them anymore. And I would encourage you to tell the stories that you loved about Jen. Speak her name. Remember those things that she did that brought us all closer to her and that we loved her for, so that we can keep her alive in our hearts and keep her close by us. I believe that many of us will feel Jen and her presence even after today, as we're remembering her and celebrating her life. You'll feel her presence. We've had experiences where I really truly believe that they never really leave our side, and they are close by us at all times. They're in the spirit world. When you're thinking about your family and your loved ones, it's important to remember that everybody has their struggles, their cross to bear, the things that they work on, and we never know what another person's going through. We never know why their behavior or their speech or their actions may seem negative, because we don't know what kind of Mount Everest they're trying to climb in their lives. And I'd also implore each and every one of you to remember her family and her kids and check in on them often to make sure that they're okay, because that's the best thing that we can do as a community and as a family, is to make sure that everyone's well taken care of. Uh, I'd like to invite Elizabeth Coombs. She's got a life sketch that she'd like to talk about with her daughter, and she can come up and do that now also.
This is tall, and I'm short, so it's okay. I hope I can get through this. I appreciate the opportunity. The day Jennifer was born, it was on a Saturday, and she was in a hurry to get here. So we went over to the hospital, and within 20 minutes, she was born. So she wanted to be here. And so when they asked the doctor that delivered her, what was her presentation, he said, out, O-U-T, she's done, she's ready. She was always quiet as a baby, never really cried. She mostly did squeaky things. So we called her Squeaker Bunny for a long, long time. She's always loved being outside. She was independent, maybe a little bit stubborn, determined. I have to tell one story about when she was growing up. They used to catch the bus out in front of the house. And here she was, a little 5-year-old. She had on a red coat, red boots, and she walked out to the front. And it was when Uncle Keith was driving the bus. And so you don't think too much about it. And then she gets home, and somebody came and talked to me, and she had missed the bus. I was slow getting her out, and she had walked probably at least a good half a mile around the corner, and Keith Gordon's wife saw her and said, something's not right here. So she picked her up and took her to school. But it was just, that's the determination she's always had. When she was in, I think it was second grade, she came home one day. She said, I found out who I'm going to marry. And I said, oh, okay, tell me. She said, oh, it's Morgan Walker Evans. And I said, well, why is that? And she said, well, he taught me to tie my shoes. And I thought, well, that's pretty good reasoning, a lot better than a lot of other things. Anyway, Jennifer and Janine were always, besides being close in age, they were always friends. They did a lot of things together. Jennifer was always a good student. And when they were little, they would go on vacation down to see my parents that lived in Delta. They'd take their little suitcases. And there was one time they were down there, and I was told by, I don't know if it was Grandma or Aunt Diane, and they were talking to the stuffed animals and the babies and said, hey, you guys stay right here. And they inadvertently put them in the oven. So the next time they went to use the oven, they had a warming. So, and I would like to tell I took part of this from the obituary that Janine so eloquently wrote, and I asked her permission if I could use it. She said, yep. Jennifer lived a life centered on caring for others. She had a deep love for horses and found peace in time spent around them. She dedicated over 20 years as a registered nurse in the operating room and later became a nurse practitioner, continuing her commitment to helping and healing others. Jennifer was selfless by nature, always putting others before herself. She was known for her humor, strength, and strong work ethic. She was always a hard worker and rarely complained, even through all of life's challenges. She fought cancer with courage and resilience, continuing to bring light and laughter to those around her. She was especially loved by her grandchildren and always up for anything that was fun. I do believe in my heart of hearts that she is close to us now, and she will continue to watch over her people that she loves. I just would like to request that we follow her example, that we are kind to people, we take care of each other, and to her kids, grandkids, who are also my kids and grandkids. I'm so grateful that I have you guys, and I appreciate all the opportunity to get to be able to talk. So thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You're a beautiful and great mom. Appreciate you. So next we'll have addresses and short messages, just focusing on the memories and the love that we had for Jen. We'll start with her eldest son, Kyle. Kyle I never got to have any boys, so Kyle doesn't know this, but I made him my son, whether he wanted it or not. I worked for years and years in youth corrections as a youth corrections officer, so I got to deal with foster kids and troubled teens and gang members and things like that. And it was so refreshing to come home and know that Kyle was so responsible and a safe place for my kids and for his siblings. Jen couldn't have had a better set of children. We loved each and every one of them, and it's a real honor and privilege to be able to do this and represent the family that way. So we'll have Kyle come up and speak a little bit and some memories and final thoughts for Jen. And if the other kids would like to do that, any others that would like to come up and say a few words in remembrance for her, we'll watch the time here for a little bit, and if it starts to lull off, then we'll come up and do a closing. And so for that, we'll leave this up for Kyle here.
Hey everybody, just had a few things that I wanted to talk about, kind of along the main theme. One of the first things that I thought of that came to my mind when I wanted to talk about her was just her work ethic. It's something that she passed along to me, and she was always working, always going to school, always just doing above and beyond, trying to improve her life and improve the lives of the ones she loved. She was very selfless. She did everything for us, and she took amazing care of us, and she always put us first, which I'm very thankful for. She was always such a good mom to my friends and everyone that we had at the house. She loved just being she was very nurturing, and she just loved to have people around and just show that love. I look around today and I'm just very thankful that everyone showed up and showed their love, and just so we can show her and prove to her that we love her very much and we will miss her. Another thing that came to my mind is she was always prepared for the worst. Every nook and cranny had cash stuffed in it. There was always medication and gauze and bandages and everything all around. She was always prepared if anything happened. One thing she always told me was, rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's something I try and live by. She always held us together when things were tough. She was always there for us and always put us first and made sure that we were okay before anything else. I'm very thankful for everything that she taught me and everything that she's given me. She's made me who I am. And I'm going to do my absolute best to make her proud and just honor her and show her that I haven't forgotten everything she's taught me. I wanted to make a specific shout out to two people. Pat Collum, I don't know where he's at, but he took very good care of her, especially in the end. Took her to every appointment and did everything he could to keep her comfortable and laugh and make her happy as much as he could. And I appreciate everything that you did, Pat. And the other person I wanted to thank personally is my wife, Haley. She was home with her every day. She took very good care of her, always brought her food and water and blankets, fans, anything and everything that she could do to make her more comfortable and make her life easier, she did. And I'll end on this. Time is precious. It's all we really have. So spend it wisely. Be around loved ones. Laugh, love, be together. Thank you again, everybody, for coming.
We'll take a few minutes now to leave it to open to anybody that'd like to come up, starting with family members. And we've got tissues here, obviously, if it's needed.
Actual mic. Oh. All right. Hi, everybody. I'll try to get through this. For all those you don't know me, I am Brent. I am Jennifer's youngest brother. Been struggling to figure out what to say today. It's not because there isn't anything to say. It's because there's almost too much, and it's been hard to separate the last year with everything that's happened to her. But what I wanted to stop and really talk about was Jennifer. Not just her cancer, or what I what I think about her. When I think about her, I think about her happiness. I can still hear her voice in my head saying, "Oh, Cracker Jack." That's something I don't think I'll ever forget. I remember the little things. I remember the little things that she did that meant a lot. One year she got me cookie dough. Another year she got me a cookie dough book just because she knew how much I liked it. She paid attention like that. I had chickens at some point, and somehow that turned into her finding little chicken gifts to give me over the years. It wasn't just about the gifts. It was about how thoughtful she was and how she remembered the things that matter to you. I also remember her determination. About a year after I graduated high school, I ran into her at Utah Valley State College. She was working towards her RN raising Kyle at the same time. And I just remember thinking how hard she worked. She didn't complain. She just kept going. That's who she was. Over the years, we talked a lot. Sometimes it was big things, life decisions, resumes, salary negotiations. Sometimes it was frustrations or just trying to figure things out. Sometimes it was money. What might sound a little bit backwards because I'm the youngest brother, but and she was the oldest sister. But it was just help her navigate things, like credit cards, savings accounts, stuff like that. But what really, what it didn't matter was the topic. It was just that she trusted me and showed up, and we showed up for each other. And honestly, we showed up for each other in a lot of different ways. I remember helping her move several times, and I also remember her helping me move several times over the years. Just the moments where you don't think just the moments where you don't really think about it, but looking back, they meant something. I also remember her kindness and her support in my life. When I started working on children's books, she was one of the first people that I told, and she was supported me. She believed in me, and that meant more than I think I ever told her. When I stand here now, I also remember how kind she was. Jennifer just had this peacefulness about her. She had a way of being that made you feel just better by being around her. She made people feel seen. She made people feel happy. I think that's really something special. Jennifer was strong. She went through so much in a short amount of time. About a year after her diagnosis, she faced it with more courage than most people ever have to. During this time, I tried to do what I could to show her how much she was loved, sending her flowers, books, and little things that when I could. I just wanted her to know that she wasn't alone. More than anything, I wanted her to remember how loved she was, and that she wasn't alone through it. Someone who loved deeply, who cared about the people around her, and someone that showed up for little things every day. Jennifer, I will always hear your voice. I always will remember that how you made people feel, and I'll carry that with me. I love you.
Wow, that gets a lot worse when you're up here. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Brennan Oliver. Kyle's my best friend growing up. And with that came his whole family. So I'd like to just take this time to also thank the Davidsons and the Coombs for letting me grow up with you guys and be part of your families and come to your events and annoy you guys. So, but on that note, and on the topic of this, is all the things that Jen did for me. She really was my second mom. She really did care about everybody in her life, and you could feel that and see that every interaction, just watching her and being grateful or lucky enough to be part of her life, and I will forever be grateful for that. And I just can't believe that she's gone, and I'm just so grateful for the time I got to spend with her while I had her. And I just I can't say that enough. And then I will always miss her and remember her and the things that she taught me. And that's about it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff George. My wife is Diane, and Diane and Elizabeth are sisters. So Jennifer was my nephew, and as previously mentioned, Jennifer and Janine at times would come to Delta for vacation during the summer. And Jennifer was a little bit shy, but that little twinkle in her eye always meant she had a little mischief too, and she did. And there is a story in Delta that still goes around about Jennifer and Janine, and Janine claims she had nothing to do with this. But we all know Janine well enough to know that she knew and she was involved somehow. But anyway, they kind of hung out with some of the boys in Delta, and one I knew pretty well, and Jennifer was with him, and they hung out a little bit one night. Well, he was the lifeguard at the swimming pool, had a key to that swimming pool, and so it was kind of late one night, and him and I know at least Jennifer got in that swimming pool, and Jennifer, we don't need to think anything bad happened there at all, but they had a pretty good time. And Travis, that Tasker kid, he was in my preschool and couldn't wipe the smile off his face the next day. So anyway, they always had a little bit of mischief in them. And Grandpa and Grandma Fowles, Jack and Zoe, loved having those kids down. They loved and enjoyed all of those kids, Elizabeth and Steve's family, and especially Jennifer and Janine. They were always fun. They were always helpful. They were always good to the grandparents. And we loved them, and so did they.
I'm Diane, Jeff's wife, Liz's sister, Jennifer's aunt. I will add to that story that Travis did get fired from the swimming pool and did get in trouble for breaking in. I'm going to take you back to another little story about when they would come for vacation, and my mom and dad were really into grinding wheat and baking bread for a while. And I think Clint was probably old enough to be with them anyway. They had this wheat in the basement of their house. And those kids had played in it, right? We vacuumed it up, swept it up. Well, a few weeks later, there was a terrible, terrible thunderstorm in Delta. The water leaked in under the basement door. We cleaned it all up. But a few weeks later, Jack and Zoe had a carpet full of a crop of wheat growing in their carpet. So, but I just want to reiterate to how much we loved having the Coombs kids come down. It was one of our favorite things to have them come on vacation every summer. And I just want all of you Coombs kids to know how much we love you. And we know that Jennifer is in a better place at this point, and that all will be well.
Hello, I'm Sienna Lundgren, and I'm I can't even talk. I'm like I'm Kyle's best friend. Like my dad said, we were living next door to him. And so I didn't take that best friend thing away from you, Brendan. It's always been a competition. Even I asked Jakey when he was a baby if he loved Brendan or me more, and Senna would always win. Sorry. um, when I think of Jen, I growing up through a phase where I was like in 4th grade, just seeing Jen work so hard. And, you know, my dad always taught me to, when you're at someone's house, like you offer to clean up, do the dishes. And I feel like trying to help Jen was like trying to stop a locomotive train. It was kind of like, you let me help. And all the attributes I hear of Jen, I can just see her. I see her kids. I see Kyle. I see Jake. I see they're all hardworking. They're all mini hers. And, you know, Jen really helped me through my life. Like, I can just remember just helped me be a woman, like helping me put my hair down. I always had a hair in a ponytail. And when I had it down the first time, she was always, "You're so beautiful. You're so strong." And she always, you know, when life was hard, she never let us think about how hard life was. Like, she would always, pizza and movie night, we're going to Seven Peaks, we're doing pizza at the pool, we're going to the park, we're doing, every time. She didn't have to do that. They were struggling, but she was always there making sure that our life was good. And Jen, I feel like we always had heart to hearts in the kitchen, especially when she was cooking. Grandma Liz, I'm gonna need that Oreo dessert that she always made too, okay? After this. Jen was in Relief Society when I was in Young Women's, and I was just struggling with my faith, and I know I just love sitting next to Jen. She made me feel so loved and welcome, and I know she never judged a single soul. And I was so full of hate all the time, and would ask her all the time, "Why do I have to do this? Why do you have to do anything?" And she's like, "It builds character. You gotta have good character." She was always there when I left for college softball. She was there with treats. She was there talking me through. She didn't have to do that. I was the neighbor girl. I got to talk to her a few days before she passed, and I just remember saying, "I love you, Senna. Keep going, kid. I love you, Mama Jen." Thank you.
Right, is there anybody else, any good friends, family, good stories you'd like to share? As we're remembering Jen, I just want to point out uh, she's the epitome of Christ-like attributes. One of the things that I absolutely loved about Jen was that you always felt safe and you could always be you around Jen, and you never felt judged, you never felt criticized, you never felt gossiped about. She wore Christ's mantle, and the my best friends have all passed on before me, so Jen's with them now on the other side too. But those kind of people are the salt of the earth that we want to remember, because it's very rare in this life that you find a friend, a family member, a mate that just accepts you for who you are, doesn't try to change you, doesn't try to turn you into something different by becoming your friend. They just accept you for how they are, and that's how I remember um, Jen the most. Um, my memories are just like yesterday with these kids growing up, and little Jakey. I held him when he was like this big, and now he could hold me and pack me around. He could dunk me like a basketball. Um, I the times that I went to the Davidson's house, uh, Kevin made me the best steak I ever had in my life. I've been trying to replicate his steaks ever since, and it doesn't even come into competition with him. And I remember Jake being about 2 or 3 years old, and he had Kyle in a headlock and was wrestling him on the ground. And um, Kyle was letting him use all of his maneuvers that Kyle had taught him in wrestling, and Kevin was cheering him on. Put him in a neck crank, Jake. Put him in a neck crank. And Jake could do it, no problem whatsoever. And I love seeing those family solidarity type things. Lexi, she was such a sweetheart to Sammy. I I worried about Sammy a lot because Sienna, she went out of her way to make friends. Sammy was a little bit more introverted and picky about who she chose, and Lexi and Sammy were joined to the hip. Even when Sammy fell out of our tree, Lexi was there to come let me know that she hadn't died, but she was hurting. Remember your 3 points of contact, Sammy. Like two arms, one leg, or two legs and one arm. And to see Jakey grow up, I have no doubt that this family is going to be fine and move forward and continue to grow more good people in our society. And like what I'm seeing with all of you, I can tell that you're good people and that you love Jen and this family, and also Haley. And I got to meet Haley's parents, so we're really happy for the future that is moving forward with this family, and we intend to be there 100%. Myself, I've been working with people since I was technically a teenager. In 1994, I started tracking youth that were in trouble in foster care. And so instead of a computer programmer, I became a people programmer. And I never wanted to focus on your skeletons in your closet. I wanted to know what you were bringing to the potluck, what kind of strengths, gifts, talents, traits, abilities that you have that we're able to put into play. And I learned through psychology and a lot of other things that there's so many different chemistries that we have that makes or breaks us with people. And I'm what's called with the Dr. Hartman color code a blue yellow. So the blues are motivated by love and compassion and people and relationship building, and the yellows are just all motivated by fun and joy and happiness. Sienna's like a yellow red, so she's all about fun and having a good time, but then she's a hard worker, so she works hard, but she also knows how to play hard. And she's traveled over 1,300 miles from Nebraska to make sure she is here today, and we got to get her back home tonight. But I'd get my feelings hurt or get upset by something somebody would say or do, or imply. And I'd say to Sienna, can you believe that that person said that and said that way? What nerve they have? And these yellows are just like, it's over their head. They're like, what are you talking about? I didn't get any of that. And they don't take things personally. They don't take things to heart. They don't sit and dwell on toxicity and negativity. And that was one of the things that I love about Jen, is that I never heard her speak a negative word about anybody, about anything from anybody. And she just always put her best foot forward. And even though she was at the bottom of the pile a lot of times, and she didn't put gas in her own fuel tank, she was just giving and giving and giving to everyone else around her. I never heard an ounce of resentment. I never heard anything negative from her. And it's those Christ-like attributes that I want us to imprint on our hearts as we remember her and remember her family. She was probably a white blue. The whites are motivated by peace and harmony. And so with that conjunction of being a people person and having relationships be paramount and foremost in her life, it made her really good in her capacities to be a nurse and a caregiver and a provider and those kind of things. Her red side was to go, the Energizer Bunny, to work hard, to do and accomplish and make sure that everything was running smooth and running as it should. And reds are typically your alphas in society. And although she never stomped on anybody or treated them like a doormat, she still worked very hard. To remember her personality and these chemistries, those white personalities like that, they're kind of like just sitting on your front porch of your house on a warm summer day, and there's a light breeze hitting you and running through your hair, and the sun kissing the skin on your cheeks. That's what Jen's personality was like. And so as we warm up this summer and we go along our livelihoods and get back to our normal comings and going, remember when you feel good, when you feel loved, when you feel cherished, when you feel respected, that's the exact energy that Jen gave us. And that's how we're going to remember her. A person passes on and dies twice in this life. The first time is when their spirit leaves their body and their body goes into the ground. And then the second time a person dies in this life is when their name is spoken for the last time by somebody's lips. So I really implore each and every one of you to speak Jen's name, to speak your other loved ones and family and ancestors' names, so that they're not forgotten. They hear you on the other side, they come near you, and we will all meet again. We'll all be in the resurrection together. We'll all be as a family together. And then from there, it's actually going to be peace. It's going to be a position in life where we can grow and learn and not have to worry and have these things that causes sorrow and sadness, but it'll be joy and happiness. And these are the things that I want the kids to remember too, is that it won't be long. We'll see Jen again. We'll be with Jen again, as we'll be with each other again. And I'll just go ahead and close by saying a prayer for everybody. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we're so grateful we can be together as family members and siblings under your watch and care. We're thankful for the blessings that you've given us and to celebrate this life with Jennifer, that we've been able to remember her, remember the things that make the difference in life, and take those attributes, her strengths and gifts and talents, and apply them to our own lives so that we can emulate her and be Christ-like as we seek to be like thy Son, Jesus Christ, in all things in life, and to be focused on loving and caring, feeding thy sheep, making sure that we are watching out for one another, being patient, being forgiving, to let go of those burdens or negativities that we hold on to, and so that we can remember the important things in life, which is to have love and connection and to be with one another again someday under thy watch and care. As we end today, we ask thy Spirit to be with us wherever we go, and as we conclude today's ceremony and life celebration of Jen, as we go home, your Spirit's with us, and we can continue to watch and learn and grow under your direction and inspiration and revelation. These things we humbly ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. We have the director of Wheeler Mortuary. You know what, Kyle? What the next step would be? Okay.
If we could have all of the pallbearers please come forward and meet us just over here. If I could have the audience please rise as the casket's leaving.
Services will be held at the Spanish Fork Cemetery. I appreciate you guys helping out.
No, but I do have a folder that we're going to be giving them, and I can place cards in there for you. Unless you'd like to just give it to them, but I could drop it off. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Oh yes, they are. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Sorry. You're so good back there. Oh my gosh, really?
The grandsons finally stood there so he could fix it every time they hit it. I mean, they would fall. This one lady that
On that side or?
on that side at the back.
Thank you so much. I have no
I didn't
idea.
want no one to get hurt.
Yeah,
I said, I'm going to go
definitely.
find her and let her
Oh my
know.
gosh, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Because every time someone steps on it, it pops off.
Oh my gosh.
One lady's foot that went down.
Yeah, that's okay.
So my
Thank you so
grandkids
much.
just stood there and put it
Yeah.
back on every time.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you. Thank you.